another live one for you. It's when I was in sixth grade, and I had to deal with the ninth grader who was the bully of the school. We have Mrs. Painter in sixth grade, my teacher, but the first day in school, I'm sitting in a first grade class in a first grade desk, looking through the sunlight, hitting the back of her head, nice kind of frilly hair, round, happy cherub face. She says, I got good news and bad news. I'll tell you the bad news first. They have nowhere to put us. They have nowhere to put us. And the good news is we're all going to be together this whole year. Yeah, I figured that was pretty cool. So that lunchtime, we go to lunch, and that's when I first met the bully of ninth grade. Didn't really know he was a ninth grader at the time. I was just looking across at him. He had a big black mustache. I thought he was an assistant teacher or something. Yeah. And the next day they found a school for us. So we went to 1, 2, 3 schools, came back to that school that we started with on our first day. Now, lo and behold, I'm sitting in the same spot, looking across the room to a fella, the same fella, black mustache, looks a little thicker, and he has a red shirt. And I'm smiling because there's Nikki, there's Tom, Mango, we're all buddies. We're all chuckling it up, whatever. So we get outside in the hallway. This guy is now coming toward me with his 2 henchmen. Now, what he's going to do is try to intimidate me. I could tell that right off because he says, how old are you? I said, I'm 13. I'm 16. I said, okay. Says, what grade are you in? I'm in 6th grade. I'm in 9th grade. See, kids, that's how it works. I didn't ever have a 3-year advanced person coming at me before. It was always usually, yeah, pretty much the same age. But he was trying to get across to me that, actually, that's what he did say after that. When I wasn't having any fear, he said, I'm going to beat you up. I still didn't have any fear. And I guess he saw that. So he says, and when I'm done with you, I'm going to do to those guys behind you. And I look behind me, and Nikki, Mango, and Tom were a lot further back. But that didn't bother me. What bothered me was that he was going to hurt my friends. And that's when the strength of Hercules went through me, and I said, it's not going to happen. And in my mind, I remembered Dad's rules that I had to live by. Never ever hit a girl. If I see or hear of you starting a fight, or I see or hear of you running from a fight, it'll be a black belt beating like you've never had before. Oh, man. Hello, I'm sorry. POS Sun. Poison? I got that right. So I said, the rules were, if I was going to fight, I had to arm wrestle first. That's all. And he didn't care if I won or lost. He just wanted me to shake hands. And that's sportsmanship, as we all know. And the last rule was, if it's more than you and him, or the gang, go over the biggest guy and knock him out. Like I talked about yesterday on the live show, on those hundreds of black children. They were black students. They weren't children. And they wanted to beat me up. And how I handled that one. This is a little different, psychology-wise. I had nowhere to go except I wasn't going to say we're going to arm wrestle. I didn't say we're going to fight. I said we're going to arm wrestle. I didn't say first. You never say we're going to arm wrestle first, because if you win or lose, you're going to have to fight the guy. So you try to throw, what are you searching for? Creamer, Super Creamer 21. What am I searching for? I'm searching for an audience. Not really. I'm just trying to get a point across that doesn't matter how big a person is. You could be the smallest person and still take them out. And I've already gone through that in episode 1 and 2 and all of my episodes if you ever go back there. But now we're on this episode where I said, okay, we're going to arm wrestle. He was happy as pie to hear that. We went to the library. We started, I'll make it quick enough. We went 1, 2, 3 times. I beat him on the right hand. His face, mustache face, is as red as his shirt. Everybody around him's amazed. Even the librarian that was punching the books, looking at me mean. She's more inquisitive. So he wants to do another round of left arm, and it's entirely up to you if you want to arm wrestle the third time. You could just say, nah, I don't want to. But I was accommodating because I was stronger in my left arm. Sorry. So again, 1, 2, 3. It was done, and now he wants to see my muscle. It wasn't as big as his, and I said, doesn't matter, Sparky. I just kicked your butt on this. And you want to know how this happened? Well, I told him, like I told you, I started climbing a rope in first grade. The rope was in the middle of the living room, and we had to climb up as fast as we could, have our feet like this, and then come down hand over hand over hand over hand as slow as possible. I did that for years. So your hands are going to get stronger, your arms, your body's going to get stronger. And then I mentioned how I did 3 years of chopping down dead elm trees in New Jersey. We were poor. Well, poor enough to where we didn't have enough coal to get through the whole winter. So I was the guy going out chopping down dead elm trees, cutting them at 18 to 21 inches, quartering them, and then mixing them with coal so we could stay alive in the winter. And I told him that, and that kind of shut him up. And now I can't get rid of the guy. He's playing chess with me. He's sitting down having lunch with me. As a matter of fact, he was taking Tom's place. And they were all getting pretty upset. What's this? I love Jesus. Are you real country? Hey, thoughts, pegging. I don't know what pegging is. But yes, I do love Jesus, and there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, he's the guy to go to. He's the go-to guy. But that would be another story. This one is, the guy wouldn't leave me alone. So I go home and tell my mom. I said, Mom, this guy, he's in 9th grade now, and I told her what happened. And, I never told my dad. I never told my dad this whole story. And that's why I want to tell you kids, anybody's watching, if you have your parents around and they told you to do some things that were beneficial for you, go and tell them while they're still around. It'll really make their day. So I'm telling Mom the story, and she says, you found a mortal enemy. As I told in the past, she said I had to find a mortal enemy, grab him, bring him over to my side, and the guy would lay down his life for me. And on the same conversation, when I told Dad I was going to go beat up Billy the bully, he says, did you ask if you're going to arm wrestle first? I said, yep. He says, good job. And that's when Mom came up with the mortal enemy idea, which I did. I got one now. What am I going to do with him, Mom? She says, you got to keep him. You got to keep him because if you don't, he's going to go back to his old ways. I said, oh, man. So we're sitting the next day. He's sitting next to me at the lunchroom. We look across the room where he usually sat, but his 2 henchmen are there now. And one of them is taking money from a little guy. And he looks at me and says, what are you going to do about that? What am I going to do about it? I said, well, how would you handle it? You know what he says? I'd beat him up. I said, oh, really? Is there another way of handling it? That's my question. Then I said, go take care of it. Oh my gosh, he got up and started running over there. And everybody else, Tom, Nikki, and Mango said, oh man, why'd you say that? He's going to go beat him up. I said, no, I don't think so. He says, oh, wow. So he's over there talking. All of a sudden I see one of his ex-henchmen give the money back, or whatever it was, to the little guy. He comes back. Ex-bully now is coming back and saying, I never thought about it that way before. And see, kids, anybody's watching, that's how bullies think. They get what they want all the time. When they don't, they have another way of looking at things. And that's all I've been trying to do. Somebody asked, what am I trying to do here? Peter, how you doing? Big Cheese, good story. All right, Big Cheese, I like it. I like that name. So what it comes down to is, it was my turn. I am now the leader. And this guy's asking me, what am I gonna do? And I give it up to him, which I didn't, it was just something that happened. And now he has another way of thinking, that he doesn't have to beat up people, is what I'm saying. And that's what bullies do. That's why they're so afraid. That's why you can't give them fear. They have so much fear. Do why they have fear? Because they're worried about the next guy is gonna beat them up. Oh yeah. I've dealt with corporate people. I've dealt with, oh man, all kinds of people. They go around trying to throw fear everywhere. Everybody Everybody tries to throw fear, and it's whether you accept it or not. And I say don't. Just throw it. Be like water on the duck's back. It's not going to even. I'm telling you, when I went to jail, that's going to be a great story. That's the only way you're going to get through jail is having no fear. And I already got a story on that somewhere on my YouTube. I think it says going to jail. You can check that out if you want. I got so many of those though. So what I'm saying is, it's always going to be up to you once you become a leader to be positive or negative. I suggest to be positive because as we know, what you give out, you get back tenfold. Hope you, well, I like the thoughts and comments. Again, I'm trying to work to where I can have these comments when people look at it as I post it, but it's not happening. So if you leave a comment after I post it and the comment section, you want to leave something like a question or whatever, I'd be obliged to answer it. If nothing else, thumbs up or down. Big Cheese likes it. He says it's a good story. I'm sorry. This cosmic humor is kicking in. So until I see you again, I'll have something. I'll have something soon here. I've done like so many lives. Tomorrow's Sunday. I might give it a day of rest, but you never know. Keep in. If you're a subscriber, you'll know if I'm going to do live or not. So that's a possibility. Until then, be well. God victory. I'll see you soon.